Serving as a volunteer, I can say these things because I'm not paid to say positive or negative things, but I see a high degree of professionalism among the men and women of the High Point Police Department. They're highly trained, they're highly focused, and highly proactive. They closely follow data. Where are trends that lead to criminal activity, and what can we do as a department to try to head that off at the pass?
A few years ago, we went through a 3-year spike in violent gun crime. We saw an uptick in activity from our hybrid gangs. They got away from the traditional approach of setting up in one area, only associating with a smaller group of people. We started seeing some of that crossover between our violent gangs.
Focus Deterrence, Focus Patrol is a crime fighting strategy that the High Point Police Department uses, where we identify specific people doing specific crimes in specific locations, and then we focus our proactive efforts to those areas and those people.
Where do we need to be focusing our efforts and our activity, and what's the driving cause? Which led us to develop our latest method, which is people, cars, guns, and locations. That method said we need to focus on these particular people, and because they weren't concentrated in a certain area, we needed to know the locations that they were utilizing. How are they moving about our city to commit these crimes? A lot of our shootings were occurring out of stolen cars, so we needed to revamp our methods of sharing that information. And then what was the main driving influence of that activity? Guns, illegal firearms.
Firing! Our officers are doing a lot to make traffic stops, and a lot of those traffic stops get guns. So now the priority is to how to make that the most efficient as possible. And what that looks like is me making sure that everything's running smoothly, but also getting everything entered quickly. So I do all of our NIBIN entry, and that is very helpful in connecting cases together or people to guns and those kinds of things. So we highlight that information a lot in our Focus Patrol.
Our illegal gun seizures have increased each year, which lets us know we've identified the correct cause. We're having our desired effect because our violent crime numbers, especially our homicides, are going down. We want the community to understand that this is not stop and frisk. This is not, shake everything that moves. There's a strategy behind everything we do. Our focus is not just guns, but illegal firearms and those who are prohibited by law from possessing firearms.
The job of a law enforcement officer is extremely difficult and challenging. They see a lot of difficult things. They deal with a lot of difficult things.
We might answer domestic where the husband and wife are literally fighting one another, cursing each other out, and taking it to a whole nother level. And then we go to another scene where there's a little girl who's missing and she's scared for her life. So we're up and down, up and down. I've had to experience that many times. Initially I thought it was very stoic for me to fight through that stuff and just brush it off. But in reality, I was never brushing it off. I was pretty much storing it away and bottling it up. I became very good at bottling things up.
Every day we ask these men and women to come in and solve everyone else's problems and be close to perfect at doing so. And if we don't provide proactive measures for them to take care of themselves, then it's a lot harder for us to expect them to take care of others. So one of the things we have in place for our officers and our civilian staff are mental wellness appointments. The purpose is for them to talk to a culturally competent psychologist who measures and talks to them about their coping mechanisms and make sure that they're aware of all of the resources that are available to them, whether that's our peer support program, our chaplains, counseling sessions through FMRT, critical incident stress debriefs, anything that we have available to our staff that will help them kind of mitigate and manage a particular situation or exposure they've had.
I get to see them suit up proudly and come to work and serve the people that live in this city. And they do it without complaint. They work late, they work long hours, they work in bad weather, and they put their personal stuff aside to serve the people of this community, and I love them for it.